Hello and welcome to a new Ninjago Summer 2022 set review. This time, as you can see, it is on the Crystal King Temple. So there is the front of the box with everything included. And then in and around there we have the back of the box where we can see some of the features of the set. So yeah, now let's get this thing built up and take a look. Okay, and there is the completed Crystal King Temple with everything that it has to offer. So yeah, there's just a quick little overview of everything we've got there. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the set. So to start off with, of course, as you know, this set does come in two kind of big chunks here. So we've got this one at the back here, which we'll take a look at later. And then we've got this little front section here that we're going to look at now. So as you can see, it's kind of in an L shape. So you've got this back section here that goes this way, and then this smaller section which goes that way as well. And as you can see, we've got some steps leading up to the shurikens of ice. So they are just on this little block thing, and I will show you those in more detail when we get to the minifigures section with Zane. But anyway, you can see we've got these kind of crystal swords coming out all over the place. We've got these little crystal pyramids in little places as well. And there are some places here where you can stand some minifigures that don't have studs on them. As you can see, we've got this big pink crystal thing here, and what you can do with that is you can just push on it and it will kind of swing up and down like so to block the ninja's path. And then from the other side you can see where that is, so you just kind of hit down on this thing. As you can see, we've got two little platforms here, and these platforms can move about, so if you've got a ninja on them coming to get the golden weapon, you can kind of spin them about and make it a lot harder to get them, and that is true for both platforms here. So you can see we've got this one as well, and that is where the new Sword of Fire is. So you can see you do get two of them in the set. They come in a little kind of accessory bag, and so yeah, you've got one there, and then of course you've got one extra that you can just give to the ninja if you want to anyway. And then there you can see a better look at the top of both of those platforms there, like so, which can move around, as you can see. So yeah, and then over on the other side, as you can see, we've got a little staircase going up to the Nunchucks of Lightning. Got another of these big pink swords here. This one can also move, but it is kind of more fixed in place. And then there we can see we've got the brand new Nunchucks of Lightning. You only get one of these in this set. So yeah, there's just one pair of Nunchucks and two of the other golden weapons, so you can see those. And then as you can see, we've got this pretty cool place here. So in that purple jumper piece, you can just place a ninja, and as they're coming to try and get the Nunchucks, you can just launch them off of the platform. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then you can see there's kind of like this whole Crystal King shrine around where the Nunchucks are. You can just place them on that little brick there at the back. So yeah, and then they just kind of dangle around there. And the staircase, what can happen is, you'll notice that there is this golden kind of lever function on this side. And what you can do there is you just pull it or push it down, and the whole staircase will kind of move around, so the ninja won't be able to get up to the weapon. And you can see this top piece just kind of wobbles around, so if they're already here, you can see they're kind of going to be in a bit of trouble because the whole thing can move around and drop down like so. And then you can just lift this back up to move the steps back into place, and then the ninja can jump up and get the golden weapon. And yeah, you can see kind of all around this floating island, there's all these rock pieces there. That's pretty cool. And there it is from the back with more of the kind of just basic rock pieces. And yeah, so that is the kind of small front section to the shrine, to the temple. And then what you can do, of course, is bring in the whole full temple like so, the big back piece, and then they kind of just fit into place like so. So you've got the kind of front part there, and then the big temple at the back. And then on this section, starting off at the bottom here, as you can see, we've got a lot of these trans pink pieces kind of supporting the whole thing. They're kind of like, I guess, crystal energy kind of drooping down from the floating island. So you've got another of these crystal swords, and there's all kinds of kind of crystalline structures at the bottom there, just little pieces of crystals among the rocks. As you can see, moving up, they've got this really nicely built kind of rock structure for the bottom of the floating island, just all the way around. The way that is done is very cool. Yeah, and we've got some kind of things kind of drooping off it, like these little brown vines and this green vine there. So yeah, all the way around there we've just got these nice floating kind of rock bits, which looks very cool. You can see the kind of supports going into that are holding this up. And then you can see in the middle there we've got the new Scythe of Quakes. You do also of course get another one with coal. And then there is kind of a better look inside this little section. Another crystal sword there, and then we've got this staircase going out and up to the top of the kind of temple, which, as you can see there, we've got this little throne for the Crystal King, which is very cool. You can kind of move this bit back and forwards. More crystal swords all the way around it just to make this thing extra terrifying. And then you can stand the Crystal King on those two jumper plates there if you want, or you can kind of sit him down on his throne like so. And then you can just watch out over his kingdom. And then just up the top there, as you can see, we've got a little kind of build at the top just with some extra details above the whole temple, and there is this small little kind of crystal dragon build included, which is pretty cool there. As you can see, it's got this small little head there, the tiny wings, and then the little claws for feet there, and the small little tail. So yeah, that can kind of attach wherever you want it to. As you can see, it can kind of clip onto these pieces, so it can just be sat at the top of the temple like so if you want. And then as you can see, moving this thing around, got more of these big crystal swords at the back, which look very, very cool, very menacing. And then of course we've got the little prison cell, which is kind of hanging on these chains in a very nice way. That's pretty cool. It's just kind of hanging there like so. And you can of course open it up and you can put a minifigure inside. And if you want them to kind of be sat in there still like so, you can attach them to the studs there, and then they can hang inside the prison cell upside down. So there we've got Zane in there, and then one of the ninja can come and rescue him if they dare. So yeah, then you can just of course open that up and drop him out as well. So yeah, that is the little prison cell, pretty cool, and it just kind of hangs right next to the steps there. It's kind of hard to get minifigures on these steps, they're kind of just more there for show really than actually being useful. But yeah, that's really all that there is to this set. It's just these two major builds that kind of fit together to build what I think is actually a very, very cool and very underrated Ninjago villain temple. So yeah, there we can see the kind of whole thing again, just in all its glory. And yeah, that's it for the temple. Now we can take a look at the minifigures. So there are 6 minifigures in total, and we are going to be starting off with Cole and Zane. So these new ninja suits, which are exclusive to this set, are actually pretty similar for all of the ninjas. So I'm just going to be taking a look at them together like so. So you can see they've kind of got the same basic robe design on their torsos and legs there, which is pretty cool. It's nice that we've got some uniform suits again. It's always pretty cool when they do those, and it's even better when they're kind of all in one set, so you don't have to kind of go collecting all the sets just to kind of get the same suit recolored. So yeah. And then there we can see their faces, nothing new there. That's the same Sons of Garmadon face for Zane and the movie face for Cole. And then of course we've got the new Scythe of Quakes mold here for Cole to hold, and you can just hold it on this little piece at the bottom. Obviously, of course, everyone did kind of want the whole thing to be like kind of one pole, like all the other Scythe sets, so you can kind of have Cole hold it with 2 hands. But yeah, clearly that wasn't compatible with the new crystallized piece that they are using for the golden weapons, and so this is, I guess, the compromise. But yeah, it's cool that we've got a Scythe of Quakes with the kind of accurate dragon head, and yeah. Then we can see the new shurikens here. They are the same piece. You get 4 of these in the set, which of course makes 2 sets of shurikens. So yeah, you've kind of got the dragon heads as well represented, and the blades there, and Zane just gets 2 of those as well. But yeah, then if we turn these around to the back, then we can see the back of Zane's head with the little extra details there, and the second face for Cole. If we then take these armor pieces off, we can see the back printing, which again is very similar for both of them, as you can see. So yeah, that is it for Zane and Cole. And then next up we've got Kai and Jay. So again, you can see the kind of uniformity with their suits there. Kai of course has got the brand new Sword of Fire, which is very, very different to the old one, and very, very kind of yeah, it's not the best. It's not the best looking Sword of Fire. But yeah, it is what it is, and clearly it was designed to go with the new crystallized piece, so yeah. And for Jay, he does get the nunchucks, but given that they were on the set, I just gave him these 2 extra pieces that came in the same golden weapon kind of accessory pack. But yeah, you can actually give him the nunchucks of lightning to use, since they are of course his weapon. So yeah, there we can kind of see those. But anyway, as for the minifigures, you can see their torsos and legs. Jay does have this hood piece in dark blue now, which is pretty cool, with the regular blue kind of band around the top. So yeah, kind of matches with his arms. There we can see their faces. And if we turn these around to the back, there we can see the second faces. And then the back detailing for Kai. And the back detailing for Jay, which again are very similar to each other and to Cole and Zane. And the next minifigure here is a Vengestone Warrior, and I just love this figure, as you can see, with all the kind of pink on him and the trans pink. It just looks amazing. As you can see, we've got the see-through leg there, which is pretty cool, and then the solid leg as well. He's got the 2 transparent pink arms, and then his weapon is just one of these pink crystal swords that we've seen kind of scattered throughout the set. There you can see his torso print, which looks incredible, and his head is just this one big kind of piece, and you can see kind of how the light can shine through that, which is pretty cool. And it is kind of hollow inside, so to allow for that to happen, which I think is great. You can see just kind of how it hangs over the front there as well, and of course it can turn from side to side, so it's not limited in its range of motion, so that is very good. And then you can see the back there, he's got this kind of really cool crystalline armor piece which you can attach things to. It's the same armor piece that is used on all of the generals. And then if we take that off, you see a better look at the torso print, and then we can see a better look at the back printing there. So yeah, that is it for the Vengestone Warrior. Very, very cool minifigure, and I wish that we got more of them in this set, because this set just feels like it needs more of these guys to be swarming the whole place. And then the final minifigure here is the Crystal King. Now I will warn you, if you don't want spoilers, then skip to the kind of ratings of the set and everything else that's after this part for the minifigure, because I will be showing what's under the mask, and it is a pretty big spoiler if you don't already know what it is. So yeah, if you don't want to know, then skip ahead when I get to showing the head print piece. But anyway, you can see the leg printing there, which is pretty cool. He's got the extra forearm piece, which is also in the dragon set, so this is the cheapest way to get him. He's got the 2 pink katanas there, and you can see that really cool head piece there is very, very cool. It's kind of designed similar to an Oni mask, and the way it kind of clips on there, and it's got the kind of big horns at the top there, which is very cool. Definitely reminds me of an Oni. And yeah, there we can see all of that. And then there we can see the back printing with just more gold on there, which is pretty cool. If we take the forearm piece off, we can see the torso print there. And then putting this back on, we will now take a look at what's under the mask. So if you don't want to be spoilt at who this is, then skip ahead now. This is your final warning. Skip ahead if you do not want to see what is under this mask. But anyway, you can flip the whole mask up just like an Oni mask, and that reveals, of course, it is the Overlord. Unfortunately, I'm sure a lot of people were expecting it, a lot of people were wanting it, and I'm sure a good chunk of people weren't wanting it either. But yeah, there it is. You can see the face. It's much more similar to his rebooted face than the Legacy Overlord figures. And then there we can see the back of the headpiece there. So yeah, that is the Crystal King. It's a very cool kind of minifigure with this Oni mask type design on it. And who knows, maybe the Overlord is being linked to Oni lore, and that is why he's kind of got this very Oni looking minifigure now. But yeah, who knows, we will have to wait for the season to air. But yeah, that's it for all the minifigures of this set. That is it for the Crystal King himself, and now we can get on to the racing. So yeah, just before we get on to that, here is the instructions. So you can see the kind of front with the new artwork there, and then the back there And then there is just one advertisement in these, and that is of course for the whole crystallized wave, as you can see there. So yeah, the rest is just the build of the set. So overall, onto the ratings for this set. I think this is a fantastic set. My only kind of complaints with it is that there are not enough of these Vengestone Warrior guys. I would have liked to have seen at least 2 in this set, maybe 3. I think this definitely kind of is a set that warrants it, given that this is kind of their lair, and to only get 1 is kind of disappointing. But on the whole, this is a great set, of course. You get 4 exclusive minifigures, which is all of the ninja in these suits. All the other sets just have their golden robes in them. It is also the cheapest way to get the 4-armed version of the Crystal King. The 2-armed version does come in the kind of Crystal King set, but this is the cheapest way to get the 4-armed version. And yeah, honestly, I just really like this thing. Obviously, it's kind of 2 builds. A lot of people kind of think that it's kind of too hollow or small or something. But no, I think this is a great size. Obviously, the fact that it is kind of just 2 major builds means that you can kind of display it however you want. So you can kind of have these separate if you want to, kind of be separate parts of a temple, or you can kind of, you know, bring them together to build one kind of big structure like that. Or yeah, you can kind of just do what you want with it, which I think is very cool. Of course, all the features on this to kind of trap the ninja into getting the golden weapons, and making it more difficult for them to do so is pretty cool. So yeah, overall that's really all I have to say about this set, and I will see you again very soon.